yes, it is recording. Okay, so just on that green sheet, our first word is exposition. All right, so exposition. Just gonna give you the definition for this one. Discourse, write small because I didn't leave you much space. Discourse, which is intended to inform an audience about something or to explain it to them. Discourse, which is intended to inform an audience about something or to explain it to them. Okay, so this is like, usually when we hear the word exposition, sometimes it's in English classes, but other times it's in like film reviews or TV reviews. A lot of times they'll say, oh, the exposition was so bad in that movie. Is that something that you've ever heard before? Maybe. Okay, so exposition, like the worst offenders of doing really bad exposition is soap operas, I think. Not that I watch a whole lot of soap operas, but I've been curious and I've watched them, and they always assume they're on usually 5 days a week, like Days of Our Lives on 5 days a week, and they always assume that there are new people watching the soap opera. So I don't know if you know this, but soap operas are pretty crazy and convoluted, right? Like it'll be like Mary's twin brother she thought was killed in a car accident, but now it turns out that he is actually dating her best friend's mom now, and he's alive all along. You know, it's just like so convoluted. And so every episode they assume that someone new is to the show, and they have to explain that to the new person. So they'll say, though, there will be two characters, and someone will say, Mary, remember when your twin brother died in that car accident 3 years ago? And like Mary remembers. I think you'd remember if your twin brother died in a car accident 3 years ago. They're telling us that for the audience, right? And it feels really clunky because it feels obvious that we know that. Good exposition will kind of just sneak it in. You'll have visual clues, and you'll have a character who like speaks a certain way so we can pick up certain stuff about them. But exposition is always to kind of get the audience up to speed so that they can understand the rest of the story. So today is going to be a little bit of exposition for our class. I'm going to give you like a lot of background info on me and what the class is going to be like. So let's just look at an example of exposition. Under example on the green sheet, write down disclosure document. Disclosure documents are fully expositional. Explaining the class to you as best I can. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph of this because it's the most exposition of the exposition. Under philosophy, this is the white page. It says, AP Language and Composition focuses on developing college-level writing skills through an examination of rhetoric, or, as Aristotle defined it, the faculty of observing in any given case the available means of persuasion. Through various reading and writing exercises, students will learn how to analyze arguments, recognize means of rhetorical persuasion, and utilize those methods in their own writing. The class also prepares students for the AP Language and Composition test for university credit and beginning and intermediate level writing classes. So very dry exposition, but it kind of just tells you sort of like the purpose of this class, the general purpose. I think this is my favorite class to teach. No disrespect to the kids from 10 honors I have in here, but I really love AP Language. And the reason I like this class is because it has so much real world potential. Like some of your classes here, like, I mean, your teacher might insist that you'll use it in the future, but you're never going to use it again. Like that just happens, right? You'll forget stuff. And like, I've never done a math problem since I graduated high school. Not that the brain is like, you know, the critical thinking and all that, it's important, but AP Language, I'm telling you, has these real world implications. And the reason is because it studies that thing called rhetoric, which just means of persuasion. And at any one time, somebody is always trying to persuade you of something else. Everything has some sort of argument in it. So this class kind of teaches you how people are trying to manipulate you all the time. You know, advertisers, politicians, all the media that you watch, your friends, your parents, they're all trying to manipulate you, right? That's sort of the name of social interaction. That's what we do. So it teaches you how to recognize that. And then it teaches you how to use those manipulation skills yourself. And I don't mean manipulation necessarily in a bad way. It has bad connotations, but it just means that you can kind of get people to your side of things, get people to understand you better or agree with your, you know, opinions or buy something that you're selling. So it can be really good real world for that. The other reason it's good real world is because most of you are getting your college bound. That's why you're in an AP class, right? And it gets you great credits for college. If you pass the test, it gets you 3 writing 10 credits, which is like your freshman level writing class. And then it gets you 3 writing 20 credits, which is your sophomore level writing class. So you basically get to go to school, not take a writing class until junior, senior year when you take a specialized writing, usually most. So if you major in psychology, they'll have writing for the social sciences or whatever. You'll have to take that one, but it gets you out of all those early writing classes, which if you pass this class would be so redundant anyway. So it's a really good for credits. I always say that I think the best class for AP credits, I think the 2 best are AP Lang, and I teach AP Lit too, but I'm saying AP Lang are the best for your credits, and calculus. Those are kind of the ones that get you the most in college. I mean, the languages do too, but you don't always have to take a language in every school. So those are the 2 that like have the best for your like general ed requirements. I never took math. I finished calculus and then I was done forever. So those are good. And it's cheap. It's $100 for the test, 97, but like round up. And it's $95. And the classes you're getting credits for are going to be like, by the time you graduate, I don't know, $1 million. They're like $2,000 for those credits. So it's a good like bang for your buck. My pass rate last year was 96%. Like, I mean, I shouldn't take credit for it because it was all them or whatever, but I am taking credit for it. I did a really good job last year preparing them for the test. But really, this class, if you stay up on it, it will prepare you. There might be a couple little flukes here and there. It doesn't mean you should feel bad about yourself if you don't pass. It just means it didn't like work for you. But like for the most part, people pass. It hasn't always been that high. I've been between like 87% and 96% though, so it's high. So that's all to say that if you stick with this class, you are going to get a great deal and learn a whole lot. So it's a good class. I like it. Plus we get to talk about like controversial things and we get to, I don't know, have a lot of debates and stuff. I like it. Okay, so that was all exposition for the class. My pitch there. You might have heard me give that pitch in your class last year because I'm always trying to fill up these AP Lang classes. Did you notice that I focused on some topics and not on others when I was giving you the exposition? Like, what did I maybe leave out of my exposition? Yeah.
All the homework.
Yeah. Right. Like, I didn't say anything about like how many hours per week you'll spend or anything like that. Right. Like, I did not want to focus on the really difficult parts. I kind of hinted that like when I said stick with it, but I didn't focus on that for sure. Anything else that I might have left out that for the exposition? Yeah, Noah?
You said we're going to cover controversial topics, but you didn't say how or like.
Yeah, I didn't want to delve into like, we're going to, I'm a conservative and you're going to be conservatives too. Like, I didn't want to like stick with this like political point of view, but I did want to kind of hint that there might be some controversies in the class to kind of more excite you than scare you was my goal. Yeah.
You didn't talk about like plagiarism.
No, or like late policy or any of the kind of minutia. Part of that is because I know you've been going through that a lot. I'm going to try and break that up in this class. But another part of that is because I don't necessarily want you guys to see me as like the person who's going to be like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not strict, but I don't want you to see me like that right away. I want to be like the approachable one, right? Like the one who's like, I'm totally chill. Because there's a purpose to that. Well, I mean, what do you think I'm trying to get you to do with this class? Like, why did I deliver the exposition that way? I want you to be excited for it. Yeah, for sure. Like, it's always a better idea for me if students go into the semester like feeling happy about the class they're taking. Yeah, I feel like they do a better job when they're like invested in it, for sure. Anything else? Any other motivations do you think I have? Yeah, Lexi?
I understood correctly. That sounds like
Yeah.
that's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, no, it is. And I love manipulating. That's what the exposition was, right? Like, I just used rhetoric to try and manipulate you. I also like, this class is actually really big. So if some of you want to drop, it's not gonna be hard for me to no, I want you all here. Please stay. But in the past, I like in my AP Lit classes, when I give pitches like that, we only have like 12 kids in there. So I'm just like, please stay. I don't want them to cancel the class, I put work into this. So part of it is like, just don't drop the class. That's part of it. Okay, so under effects on the green sheet, write down some of the effects of the way I gave that exposition. So your example was the disclosure and then my little spiel. And so you're just gonna write down a couple of effects from what I was doing. So how did the exposition affect my audience? That's what you're writing about. You're my audience. Okay. Write a sentence or two. I'm gonna grab water. Okay, all right, so those green sheets, since we're gonna do a word every day, you're just gonna keep adding to them and then you'll have more as we go through the year. So I'm requiring you for this class to bring a 3-ring binder to class that's only dedicated to this class. That's your textbook. I'm not handing out textbooks, so you'll keep any readings in there and any homework assignments and like everything you do for the class will be in the 3-ring binder. It can't be one of those super skinny ones, that won't work, but it'll be okay if it's 1 inch and then you can just take everything out at the end of the quarter and use it again. 1 inch will be good for a quarter. So I actually give you points for that. It will be due same day the disclosures due, which is August 31st, but it will be the easiest points you ever get in this class. 5 points for bringing a binder. Okay, but for now you can put the green thing away, or we're done with that. Now, let's talk about me. All right, so I'm hoping already you're getting a sense of how like everything can be read as an argument or a means of persuasion. You guys are very good. I think people are very good at reading visuals. So when we, come into this world and we see our parents for the first time and we see that they're smiling, we're already like introduced to the world of reading people's like visuals, right? Like we read what people are wearing, we read facial expressions, we read settings, like we are really good at making inferences and judgments just based on visual information. So we're going to practice that a little bit so I can show you. You're going to make inferences about me. This is a little bit cheesy, but I don't know. I like it. I like you guys making inferences about me. It reveals a lot. So my room, is decorated in a certain way. I've got all the stuff on the walls, I've got bookshelves, I've got this up here. I've got behind my desk, all those decorations. I've got fridge, like I've got cupboards. I'm gonna give you permission now for 10 minutes to go snooping through my room. The only thing you can't open is the filing cabinet, it's got sensitive info, and my desk drawers, because that's too private. But everything else you can open and you can rifle through. The cupboards you can open, there's little locks on the inside, you can unlock it and look what's in there. They're not that exciting, but go ahead and look. And you're gonna use all the visual information in this class, plus my presentation. So what I've talked about so far, sound of my voice, my hair, my clothes, whatever, like whatever you normally use to make judgments, you're going to do that and make some inferences about some of the things I like and how I am. You can work by yourself or in small groups or with partners, however you want to do it. We won't spend all day just talking about me. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes and then we'll see what you said. Okay, go ahead. Oh, don't go through my desk drawers or the filing cabinet, but you should totally go behind my desk and see like what that area is like.